This week on the TechONTAP podcast, we talk all about spot security as well as ransomware protection with Cloud Manager.
Welcome to the TechONTAP podcast with Justin Parisi.
I love NetApp.
Oh, yeah.
NetApp. I love this company. Support.
I love NetApp because it's so fun.
Hello and welcome to the TechONTAP podcast. My name is Justin Parisi. I'm here in the basement of my house, and with me today I have a couple of special guests to talk to us all about security in the cloud as well as with ONTAP. We do this a lot because security is ever changing and we need to be able to cover these things and stay up to date. But today we're talking specifically about spot security, and to do that we have Isma Rizvi. So Isma, what do you do here at NetApp and how do we reach you?
Hi, Justin. Thank you for having me here. I'm the product manager for Spot Security, and my job is to help customers make their cloud journey safer. So Spot Security is a comprehensive cloud security platform which allows customers to get a 360-degree visibility into their environment. When I say that, I mean all of your misconfigurations, compliance breach, your events, anomalies, etc. Detect and analyze and mitigate risks. So that's what we do. You can reach me at isma@netapp.com or on LinkedIn via Isma Rizvi. And I'm looking forward to this conversation.
All right. And we couldn't talk about security and NetApp unless we brought along Matt Trudewind. So Matt, what do you do here at NetApp and how do we reach you?
Yeah, it's in my contract, Justin. Whenever security is mentioned, you have to include me on the podcast.
That's right.
But no, I'm a security evangelist, like you mentioned, but I'm actually in the engineering group. And so my conversations are typically more technical. And so that's one of my focuses here is get some of our technical security information out to customers and partners and how they can apply them to their business cases. And you can reach me on Twitter at ntapmatt. That's NTAP Matt.
All right. So when you start using the cloud, you'll start to find that you have a little less control over things than you have with on-prem instances. And with that control comes less visibility. So we need to have things to help us get more visibility in our environments. And that's where things like Spot come in. So Isma, give me the overview of Spot and Spot security. Like what specifically does it add in terms of value for the cloud offerings?
Adding to the first part that you were mentioning, that cloud is a big black hole, right? We don't know what goes in, to be honest, and what goes out. We talk to customers day in, day out who say that every developer can just spin up an instance, an S3 bucket, a new AWS account altogether, and they don't really have the right visibility into what's going on. So, for example, the latest IBM data breach report stated that 45% of all breaches that happened last year happened on cloud. And cloud security can be tricky, right? With the whole shared responsibility model and the rate with which companies are moving into cloud versus their teams being well versed with cloud security. That isn't the same. And that is exactly what Spot Security does. We are trying to make this platform as a one-stop solution for all your needs. How we begin doing this is that we firstly begin doing an agentless assessment of your environment where we are able to discover 100% of your assets automatically. Once we do that, we further start analyzing all of these assets for misconfigurations. We analyze literally every CloudTrail data. We do port scanning, source IP scanning. And the heart of all of this is our graph technology, which takes in all of this data, puts it into a service map and a risk map, which helps you highlight which of these assets are talking to which of these assets, and which of these assets are connected directly to the internet. So they are directly exposed, on public IPs. This helps customers see that if this is my crown jewel or this is my asset with business criticality, is this talking to an asset which is just one hop away from internet? Or is this talking to an asset which it just doesn't have to? Those are the kind of things that we give you visually available. And on top of that, we don't just stop there. We give you like a 360-degree view of that entire network that you have created. When I say 360-degree view, it means that we'll see all the risk associated to those assets, all the compliance breaches for those assets. So for example, if I know that this particular asset is containing PCI data or PII data, and it is not even complying to PCI DSS. Those are the kind of red marks, the red alerts that we can highlight in real time for the customers. And then anomalous events. So what we do is we actually scan millions of events that are coming in your environment, and then we categorize them into configuration change, IAM change, so on, and anomalies. So for anomalies, what we further do is that we classify them based on the MITRE tactics. So which of these anomalies are actually leveraging from all the way from initial access all the way to execution, which of these anomalies are actually leveraging that particular tactic. So that's what we do in a nutshell. And I think it was a little over nutshell, but that's what Spot Security comes into the picture, into the whole changing cloud environment.
So when you say there's a map, is it an actual visualization with like icons and all this stuff, or how does it look when you're kind of browsing through it?
Yeah, so there are two kinds of maps that we can create. One are risk maps. The risk map is for each misconfiguration. The misconfiguration is on a particular target asset, and how many of so if you have risk on one asset, that asset can be connected to 5 other assets, that can be connected to services and so on. So we show you that visualization in terms of a graph, literally, and you can see the connections, you can see the direction of network flow, and then you can see individually all the assets in that map, what are their risks as well. Additionally, like I was telling you, that you can actually create topology maps where assets of your business criticality, your crown jewels, put them on a map together. Across regions, across VPCs, you can put them on a map together, and you can actually visualize the network diagram, which asset is talking to which asset or service, which are directly exposed to the internet, all of that in a visual graph.
So it shows you which things are connected. Does it offer recommendations for how to fix things? Does it have an actual button you can click to fix it there and right then and there?
So it gives you recommendations. So we help you remediate your risk, and we help you do it via, you can use AWS CLI, you can use the console, you can use Python. So we give you step-by-step process on how to remediate. But we also understand that prioritized remediation is a bigger problem in cloud, right? So what we do essentially is that we have our own logic using which we say this is the highest impact recommendations, which combines multiple logics, such as how many of the assets in this map are internet facing, how many of these have risk, what is the severity of the risk, and so on, basis on which we give you a prioritized actionable insights to work on. We don't do automated remediation. We give you guided remediation. However, we give you the Python script as well, so customers can actually just write a Lambda function and automate that as well.
Is there any sort of API exposure? Do you have REST APIs or things that people can just kind of build into their existing API infrastructure, or is it not currently available with Spot?
Not currently available. In the roadmap, but not currently available.
Not currently available, you say? All right, cool. So sounds like Spot Security can do quite a bit. Is this all cloud resident? Is it an agent you install? Like, how does it get deployed in environments?
Yes. Within 15 minutes, you can onboard your cloud accounts, and not just one, you can onboard your bulk cloud accounts in one go as well. And it only takes a few minutes to onboard. And within 15, 20 minutes, you will start seeing findings, and it's real time. So every 15, 20 minutes, rather, I would say whenever any activity is detected in your environment, you will see that on the platform, and it's completely agentless.
Okay. So as far as getting access to this, what's the cost structure look like? Is it a per seat license? Is it something that's included with certain aspects of the cloud offerings with NetApp?
So we charge you, like I said, we track approximately 15 different asset types and 13 different compliance and all the other features that I talked about, but we only charge you for the number of EC2 instances which are running in your environment. And that too, we calculate the consumption on an hourly basis. So let's say you've purchased for 100 EC2 instances for a year. That's going to cost you $9,900, $99 for each EC2 instance. It means that $99 for each EC2 instance means that 24 hours, 365 days it is running. And we're not tracking unique EC2 instances. So basically, we convert that into an hourly consumption rate. And It's literally as much as the customer is using and not a penny more than that.
And the good news is if you're using the other part of Spot, you can kind of track those costs and see if you're using things that you're not necessarily needing.
Correct. So it's a win-win for everyone.
That's right. So let's talk about the NetApp software angle here. So, we have Spot security available. Does it tie into CVS or CVO or on-prem or all of the above? How does it monitor those things? Does it handle all that, or is it specific to certain use cases, or does it just basically, it doesn't care what the product is, it just does stuff?
So currently we can scan your AWS accounts. Therefore, we can scan your AWS assets. So your KMS, your virtual VPCs, CloudTrail, EC2, S3, IAM, and so on.
That's kind of cool though, because this is sort of one of the first security products that we have that it's not like built into ONTAP, right? It's actually meant to do cloud security, which I actually think is kind of neat. Not a lot of people are aware of that, which is why we're putting this out on podcasts like this.
Well, yeah, but there is a cloud aspect to NetApp in ONTAP, right? So you have your cloud volume services or FSx in Amazon, right? So I would imagine that there's at least a portion of Spot security that has to accommodate those things because they do live in Amazon. Or are we just talking about specifically, the Amazon cloud specific things?
So we're specifically looking for the different services and resources that you use via AWS and very soon on Azure as well. That being said, we are increasing the different types of resources that we scan literally on a sprint by sprint basis. So fingers crossed, but as of now, we don't do that.
Okay. So it's basically agnostic at this point. It's not, you're not pigeonholed into doing just, NetApp stuff. So it actually works if you're just doing Amazon AWS cloud stuff, right?
Correct.
All right, cool. So you're not limited if you're a NetApp customer or not. Like you can use it if you're not a NetApp customer, you can just basically use it to monitor all your other cloud resources.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a multi-cloud solution. So if you're using AWS and Azure and in future GCP and so on, all of those findings will be into one comprehensive dashboard. You don't have to, switch, and the overall risk posture is what we are aiming for.
So Matt, what would you call something that encompasses multiple things into a single dashboard? What's that term that we like to use?
Single pane of glass.
That's right. Single pane of glass. That's everyone's favorite term.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
But we have it.
Yes, we have it.
Cloud Manager, right? So that would be awesome actually to have some integration there as well. But so it's not in Cloud Manager today though, right, Isma?
No.
Okay.
So as far as Spot security goes, does it handle any, I guess because it handles anything AWS, it'll handle compute, it'll handle Kubernetes instances, pretty much anything that lives there.
Yes, but like I said, we are every sprint, every quarter, we are trying to add as many more services and resources. Right now, we support approximately 15 different asset types, including your S3, your ELB, EC2, VPCs, and so on.
Are you currently taking feedback from people to try to prioritize what gets added in future releases?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of customer trials running, and we are speaking with customers twice, thrice, 4 times in a week, and we are taking a lot of feedbacks. We actually have a way for internal users. We actually have a way to track the different RFEs. We call them requests for feature enhancements. So anyone who's selling or their customer success and they want to upsell to Spot security, we have a very formalized way in which we are receiving feedback and we are putting them into our roadmap with timelines and everything.
And if I was not internal, if I was a customer or somebody listening to the podcast, how would I make a request to you? Just go through LinkedIn or your email?
Just go to the Spot security Spot website. You have spot.io. From there, if you just go to products and browse to Spot security, there's a button there which says request demo. All you have to do is click on that, and that's about it. We offer a 30-day free trial for all our customers to And within that free trial, literally, we allow you to do anything, onboard as many assets, as many cloud accounts, and so on. So we give you a 30-day free trial for you to assess us, give us feedback, and hopefully we convert you into a customer.
So let's say I get that 30-day free trial. I put all my stuff in there, and then I forget about it. And then the trial ends. And then 6 months later, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to buy that now. Do I have to redo all that, or can I just convert it to a license?
No. So the moment a customer signs up for the first time, even if it's trial or they've purchased it, we maintain a unique identifier from day one. So if it's a trial, in our backend, the trial key code gets converted into an actual customer's key code. They don't have to do the whole formalities once again. As soon as it just comes to us via the internal tools that we have, Salesforce and so on, we will not expect the customers to do all of those things once again.
And it isn't one of those things where like it'll automatically convert to paid?
To paid, no.
Okay.
Like I said, you're so fair on pricing. Come on.
Well, yeah, I've had experiences with other things where like you sign up for the free trial and then it's like, oh, you put your credit card information while you're signing up for the free trial, then it converts and you start paying and you forget all about it. But Spot, the cloud offering, should tell me that that's going on if that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's one thing that people didn't know about Spot security that you wanted them to know, what would that be?
One thing that I think customers don't know about us, and they should definitely know about us, is that we are not a CSPM tool. We are aiming to be a comprehensive cloud security tool. And so it's not just the misconfigurations. We are we are already doing anomaly detection. We are doing graph visualization. We are on the path of doing, a lot more threat intel. So yeah, look out for the space. It's going to be massive very soon.
So what is a CSPM anyway?
So CSPM is a cloud security posture management, which only detects misconfigurations of your cloud assets like your EC2 and your S3 and so on. So it tells you that what are the right hardening guidelines for your different assets, and it helps you A, highlight that, B, give you some compliance views, and that's about it. What we are trying to do is that we begin, like I said, we begin from asset inventory, discovery, we do misconfigurations, event analysis, anomalies. All of this is ML-based. We're not doing any rule-based engine for event analysis and anomaly detection. And the crux of everything is our graph technology, which CSPMs don't have, right? So graph technology helps you visualize everything into one single pane of glass and see what are the different 360-degree view of your network in terms of risk, compliance, anomalous, threat, and so on.
All right, excellent. So speaking of single panes of glass, Matt, what does Cloud Manager offer? I know that we talked about how Spot Security doesn't really officially support specific ONTAP or NetApp things, but Cloud Manager is another tool that we can use for doing things similar to Spot Security, but from a NetApp angle. So what is there today that people don't know about?
Yeah, Cloud Manager is really powerful, right? Most people think about it kind of, as you mentioned, just sort of managing your storage assets in the cloud, ONTAP. But there was a ransomware protection dashboard. We probably talked about it in a previous upload, and it's constantly evolving, right? That's one of the great things about our cloud products is they come out with more recent updates than ONTAP releases. So the ransomware protection dashboard does a lot more than protect from ransomware. It has security best practices. And one of the most recent ones is it integrates with ActiveIQ. ActiveIQ, I always like to mention, although now it's been quite a while, but I always like to say it was the artist formerly known as Autosupport. But it for people not familiar with it, what it does is it takes information from ONTAP and other systems, and then it provides you with best practice guidelines. Maybe you're at risk, misconfigurations. You can see it all from a dashboard. And you have to go to ActiveIQ to see it. Well, ransomware protection dashboard in Cloud Manager has integrated that. And so now you'll be able to look and see from Cloud Manager if you have any security vulnerabilities on your ONTAP systems, for example, right? Do those need to be patched? You get a great look into that. You don't have to go separately into ActiveIQ. At the same time, since it is a ransomware protection dashboard, it'll now tell you there's some data immutability panel, and it will show you basically if SnapLock, if it's turned on, right, and how many volumes it's turned on, and do you have cloud data sense as well? Do you have cloud data sense policies configured on these volumes? SnapLock is useful for protecting your snapshots from deletion by malicious insiders or stolen credentials. And so you can get a readout there again, single pane of glass of not only if the system needs to be patched for some sort of vulnerability related to a CVE, but also if your data, your snapshot data is being protected with SnapLock. And do you have data sense on those policies? Because data sense is useful for classification of data. You probably want to know where those most important assets are that reside on NetApp storage or ONTAP storage. And so data sense can tell you that. Actually, it can tell you for other storage as well. So those are some of the recent additions. And that's, again, one of the cool things about Cloud Manager is it evolves very quickly. You don't have to wait every 6 months for updates there. And you're getting more security in that as well. So that's the way we're focusing. And it really helps with the whole zero trust architecture we always preach on here, that customers should be applying to their data, right? Zero trust is not just for networking, it's also for data security. So those are some exciting things that we have out today.
All right. Sounds like we got a lot of options here when we're talking about security and NetApp and cloud and included, right? As far as attack surface management and security, vulnerability detection, Isma, spot security is your baby. So again, how do we figure out where to find more information as well as how to get access to it?
Yeah, so we have public-facing documents. It's called docs.spot.io. From there, you can, again, just from the left navigation, jump onto Spot Security. You will have the entire documentation, the how-to, the knowledge guides, and so on. To get in touch with us, you can write to us. Absolutely. You can write to me directly. It's isma@netapp.com. And you can always just go to the website and request for a demo. Once you do that, someone from the team will immediately reach out to you, and we will, set you right up for a demo.
And Matt, if you want to find out more information about, automatic ransomware protection or Cloud Manager, how would we find that?
Yeah, there's a lot of information available out there. One of the good places to start is the hardening guide for ONTAP, TR4569. It talks a lot about security hardening postures and sort of best practices, but it also has information around setting up Active IQ, which you want to make sure you have turned on so you can utilize the Cloud Manager dashboard. So you go to cloud.netapp.com and you can learn more all about Cloud Manager and our other cloud products. It's also a good stopping point. If you have any feedback or any information about this that you can't find, you can always hit me up on Twitter, NTAP Matt, NTAP Matt, and I can get you. If I can't answer the question, I'll probably get you to the right person who can. So those are some good places to start out.
All right, excellent. Well, thanks again so much for joining us and talking to us all about spot security as well as the ransomware protection and ONTAP. It's always good to have a refresher on that. Isma, Matt, thanks again.
All right, that music tells me it's time to go. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email to podcast@netapp.com or send us a tweet @netapp. As always, if you'd like to subscribe, find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or via TechONTAPpodcast.com. If you like the show today, leave us a review. On behalf of the entire TechONTAP podcast team, I'd like to thank Matt Trudewind and Isma Rizvi for joining us today. As always, thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah. Is it just me that's getting off on this? Oh, yeah.